This is honestly the sickest truck ever. Check it out. It's a 23 F450, 6.7 high output power stroke engine. And we got our wide out plow on it. This is the 8 to 10 plow. I've had this thing for quite a while, a lot longer than the truck itself, but basically it extends from 8 feet to 10 feet. And it is real nice because it can be small enough to be transported, but big enough to really move some snow. But all in all, my opinion, this is the sickest truck that you can really get. It does everything. I mean, there's trucks that can do specific things better. For example, cab chassis trucks, they can honestly haul more weight better than this. Or maybe like a single rear wheel, 6.5 foot bed is gonna be a good daily driver. I don't even know if that would be a better daily than this per se. One of the ways, or some of the ways that like a short bed, 6.7 or whatever engine, but a shorter wheelbase truck can be better is the gearing can be better on those trucks for just daily driving empty. You know, the gearing on this truck's a little bit aggressive for empty driving. It's still doable, but just a little bit aggressive for just empty driving, nothing on you. But for me, I got 1,000 pounds on the front right now. I got this front end on this truck is extra heavy duty. The Super Gaina 60, I think it's called. This thing is a beast of a front end. Like it can carry this 1,000-pound plow, diesel engine. That diesel powertrain is another at least 800 pounds, maybe more, so they added more emissions, but at least 800 pounds heavier. A lot of times you put that big heavy engine on the front and you cannot carry it with the diesel engine. I mean, the front end on this, the springs and everything, it really handles the weight of this plow. But yeah, sickest truck ever in my opinion. And just the fact that it does so many things good. Jack of all trades, this truck. I'm actually kind of a jack of all trades kind of a guy anyway. And what I'm doing is I'll do whatever it takes for me to get by or make a buck. We've been doing concrete. I got into it this year, concrete. And it's been tough, you know, obviously, cutting my teeth in that industry. But I just dove right into it. And doing certain jobs, you know, now you're really high-end concrete jobs, but city sidewalks, things like that don't require that much precision. You know, I'm not doing fancy driveways right now. I'm just doing the city stuff. Like, you go into a city sidewalk, no one's really worried that much. I mean, you still got to do a good job, but like, you don't need to be the best. It's pour it, float it. It's pour it, screed it, float it, broom it, gone. Very forgiving work. So but the point is, like, you're able to be the jack of all trades with the 8-foot long bed. I got these Milwaukee pack-out boxes that's got all the different tools in it. I switch over from concrete over to fencing, over to all these different things. And this truck has been something that's been really useful for me in being able to switch over so many different jobs so many times. Like, I can just switch the whole Milwaukee pack-out box out of the bed. I got the ones that roll on wheels, and I just wrap my arms around it and like lift it up with my legs. Like, I squat down and wrap my arms around it like I'm giving it a big hug, and then hoist it up, put it in the bed of the truck, and I'm off to the job. And that big 8-foot bed, I can carry 8-foot long 2x4s. If I'm carrying 10-foot 2x4s, it's just hanging off the bed a little bit, maybe scratching the plastic up a little, but what are you gonna do? You gotta work. And that's the thing about me, is like, I work this truck and it's not a freaking pavement princess. It is scratched up a little. It's not dented too bad, but it just, the scratches, you get the scratches. I had to we actually mow lawns as well, and I don't mow lawns in this truck generally, But there was a time where the lawn mowing truck was just broke down, or it wasn't broke down, it was in the dealer getting some warranty work done. The front end had a little noise, and the transmission, the 10 speeds, they shift funny sometimes. They did like a relearn on that transmission, and it fixed everything. They replaced some components in the front end, and that helped out a lot. But this truck ended up having to be on that lawn mowing crew just for a little bit, and wow, did it scratch it up. I told my guys, it's like, please don't scratch up my truck. Like, I'm just asking, please don't do it. And most of the guys were fine with that, but there's that one kid, he's young, he's 17. This freaking kid scratched up my paint and gouged up my paint so many times with that grass catcher. And I just told him, like, dude, you are scratching up this truck. And he just, being young, he could not figure it out. Like, what am I? I'm so confused. But the point is, yeah, it's got its scratches on it. That's another thing about this truck, is like, people have said, that's a really nice truck. Like, you're working it and you're using it and it's getting dinged out. I would never work such a nice piece like that. Like, why would you do that? You should be preserving this vehicle, because it's going to get damaged from the work. And that's a good point. It does shorten the life quite a bit. The transmission has to work hard plowing snow, the paint and the corrosion on the frame, the scratches on the aluminum body, and it's like 100% legit. Like, yeah, it's not going to be as pretty or as nice as a cherry truck. This truck's not going to be all that nice. The interior of this truck is full of salt dust right now, and that could be an issue down the road. You start working on this instrument panel, it's probably all rusted up underneath there. Like, that frame that typically gets rusty anyway, it's going to be all rusty. But at the end of the day, I can polish this truck up, clean it up, detail it, and I can put it on the market, and it's going to move. No matter what, no matter how you put it. Even though it costed a little bit more to get into the 450 pickup, these trucks are so sought after that at the end of the day, when you're done with it and you're ready to sell it, you're gonna get your money out of it. It's like how people would argue about the diesel engine. Like, yeah, diesels, they have the resale. 450s have the resale, more even than just the diesel engine. And the diesel engine costs more than the 450 does up front. Like, it's a tough proposition for the diesel engine. Like, should you get a diesel and spend $10,000 to $12,000 more on initial purchase, but have that better resale? Hopefully. I mean, diesels are by themselves are kind of falling out of favor just because of the emissions. Or do you get a 450 for how much more? How much more money is a 450? Actually, it's not that much more money. It's way less than a diesel engine. A diesel engine is a $10,000, $12,000 option, but a 450, for everything it gives you, is a cheaper option than the trim. Actually, your trim level on your truck is going to be more of a consideration than your 450 trim, because a 450 can be in any trim. It can be in an XL, an XLT, a Lariat. It's more money to go from an XLT to a Lariat than it is to go from a 350 single rear wheel to a 450, if the engines are the same. If you're thinking about a 350 dually or a 450 dually, get the 450 dually, because it doesn't cost that much more to get a 450 dually if you're in the same engine than it does to get a 350 dually. Now, thing about the pickup version is you got to get the 6.7 Power Stroke, but you could probably find a way to get a 450 with a 7.3 if you did a cab chassis, but I don't know if you can get one with a bed on the truck. So this is beautiful weather. Look at this. Oh man, the air is like warm over the water. blowing into the truck, it's like kind of warm air. It's very interesting. But this is what we live for, like the cold winters. We're actually raising in degrees right now. We're at 26 degrees. That's not even cold. But this is what we live for, this cold weather. We just got done plowing a storm, and it was freaking treacherous out. Like, they were calling for a dusting, and we thought we can just go and drop some salt and be good to go. We're out in the middle of the night. We started at 9, got to the first account maybe 10. Spread our salt, starting to pre-salt, because if you only get a dusting of snow, you can go ahead and pre-salt the whole storm. But no, we got freaking, that dusting came, and then after we got like halfway through the salting run, it starts snowing so freaking hard that you can't even see in front of you more than 2 feet in front of the truck. Like, I can see the hood, I can see another. In reality, 2 feet's a little bit of an exaggeration, but I could maybe see like 15, 20 feet, maybe a sign, the street sign, 15, 20 feet away. So we were driving slow and going like, what the heck is going on? And it would do that for a minute, and then it would stop, and then it would do that again for a minute. Before you know it, it's 6 a.m. Everything's about to open up, and everything is covered in snow. And despite us trying to salt everything down, the snow came down so freaking heavy that we had no ability to get everybody opened at once. And we were just out here scrambling and fighting. We didn't even have the plows on the trucks. The plows were at the shop parked, and we had to run to the shop, put on plows. It was brutal. But we just stayed on it. We got through. A little bit of complaints from clients wanting to be opened up sooner. But at the end of the day, we got through it, and we made it out the other side in a decent enough position. So very interesting how that worked out. Very tough storm, and just a big eye-opener that times can be very tough, very fast. Just a little 2 inches freaking challenged the heck out of us. And I probably worked on this little bit of snow that we got. I probably put in 40 hours on dang near straight without even stopping. I mean, I took one nap in the middle, and I think I did like 2 back-to-back 20 hours with a 2-hour nap in the middle. So pretty crazy scenario. Definitely feeling better now. I was in a state of, when you work like that, you're in the altered mind. Like, I just wasn't feeling right yesterday. I went to sleep, I woke up, and I just felt off. Like, I walked into the grocery store, and like a couple times somebody said, excuse me, sir, like, you're in my way. Like, I just was a loopy. So I'm starting to feel back to myself, and I'm happy I survived that storm with no casualties, no breakdowns. But best freaking truck that you can buy. And the reason I'm thinking this right now is just spending so much time in this truck. I've had a 2020 that I had first before this, and when times got tough, I ended up selling that 2020 because like I say, you can always move one of these 450s, and times got hard. I sold it. It's interesting, I just heard from the guy I sold it to that he needed me to sign something so he could transfer over the ESP that I had on that. After all these years, how he's doing that after all these years, I don't know, but he's transferring the ESP, and he's gonna go ahead and like warranty something with the emissions system. I didn't know that could be done, but apparently that's what he's doing. I don't know how. I don't even think I told him it had that on it, but it's pretty interesting. And the reason I'm thinking this right now is after working this truck for the last 40 hours. What a good freaking truck. That it's a 450 wide track front end. It's able to be nimble and move around effortlessly around tight parking lots. It's able to haul freaking serious tonnage on the salt spreader. 2,000 pounds a yard. It might be 4,000 to 5,000 pounds in this spreader, and it hauls that. It's literally happy with the 1,000 pounds on the front end. It's like more happy than it is without. Like I realize it slides, and when everyone's complained about these Continental tires, it's because this truck is not really heavy enough, I think, for ice driving with these tires, because I slide out without the weight on the plow on the front end. But when you put the plow on it, it's freaking good in the snow with the plow on it. Pushes good, does everything good, but with no plow, it just wants to slide. So people say, like, how do you like those Continentals? Well, if you got a plow on, they're some of the best snow tires I've ever had because they're skinny. The contact patch is not that much of a contact patch, and they just bite with the weight. They gotta have the weight though. With no weight, I freaking hit the brakes and just slid probably 150 feet, 200 feet. Just, oh my God. We slid so far, like the red light was so far ahead of us, and with no plow on, just like a load of salt in it, I hit those brakes and just slid. And all the guys were like, oh my God, not again. And this thing slid almost dang near through the red light. I stopped before that, but then it starts going to the right, and the truck bounced off of the curb. It slid so much. But then I put the plow on it, and it was good to go. So I think, if I'm going to be out salting, just freaking put the plow on it. It helps with the weight, because you put all that weight in the bed, and it's not much on the front end. Well, put the plow on it, and the whole truck's balanced out. So anyway, I just wanted to touch base. What a crazy storm that we had. But my name is Sean. This is DS Trucks. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you soon. And over and out.